All right. So, next up. You notice how people don't blame other people, don't generally blame other people for their race or their sex or anything else that they might have been born with. Maybe it was juvenile arthritis. Maybe it was cerebral palsy. Maybe it was something like autism, which is different than the others because it's more of a psychological issue, but it's become commonplace enough, and there's been enough um, effort dedicated to humanizing it that you still probably wouldn't. But throughout my life, as well as several other people's that I've known, we continuously blame and get blamed for our psychological illnesses. And not all of us, but for most of us, we've been fighting these demons for pretty much our entire lives. It's essentially something we're born with. It's something we can't change. It's something we would die to change. But a lot of the times we can't. And the biggest reason why we can't most of the time is because we get stuck. We don't get stuck because we refuse to seek help. It's because it just isn't enough help for us. What happens when you think to yourself, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing here, or this just seems too much for me. I'm sure there's somebody else out there more equipped, better prepared, more trained to deal with this than me. So I'm going to just not have anything to do with them. Well, even if there is someone else out there like that and you happen to meet them, they can't undo the damage caused by the hundreds of people between you and their meeting up with that person. That, you know, that's just like too much for one person to try to fix. In order for us to be able to turn things around, we need a little more help from a lot more people than a whole lot of help from one. And most of the times when you really get down to it, most of our fear surrounding those people stems from the fact that most of the times they're going to seem to impose all of their needs on one person. You're afraid it'll be you. But the reason for that is because we just don't get that kind of help that we need. Virtually ever. Instead, we get blamed for what we've been having to fight alone because we don't get the same defense. If you were around someone who was throwing racial insults around like crazy, you'd probably stand up to them and say, hey, shut the hell up. And, you know, you go to that person's defense. But when it's someone suffering a mental illness, you're more likely to tell them to shut the hell up and straight up abandon them. I think it's important that we ask ourselves why we blame those people for something that is so far beyond our ability to deal with that we can't even bring ourselves to get involved, and why we should expect them to be able to do more with that than we are able to, given all the resources that we have and all the resources they don't. Anyway, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.